Hello, welcome to this session on defining what an entrepreneur is. Within the Griffith Innovation Challenge, there are a number of course learning outcomes. So at the end of today's session, you should be able to understand the term entrepreneur, what entrepreneurship means, the difference between an inventor and an entrepreneur, and the difference between a small business owner and an entrepreneur. All of this will lead to the completion of the first course learning outcome. So what is entrepreneurship? The term entrepreneurship was first written in 1730 by Richard Cantillon, an Irish-French economist. And in his essay, Cantillon actually made the contribution of identifying the entrepreneur as a risk bearer. So the word entrepreneurship actually derives from the French meaning between taker or go-between. And the earliest examples of entrepreneurs acting as go-betweens are merchant adventurers such as Marco Polo and Vasco da Gama. They were making contact with new markets and developing trade routes. So let's fast forward 200 years, and a key influencer in the entrepreneurship discipline is Schumpeter, who equated the entrepreneur to being an innovator who implements change within markets through the carrying out of new combinations. Most modern-day definitions are mostly a reworking of Schumpeter's definition. So entrepreneurship is thus seen as the process of identifying, developing, and bringing forward new innovative ways of doing things for the exploitation of commercial opportunities. But let's hear from some more modern-day authors on what entrepreneurship is. So we have Timmons et al., who were of the belief that entrepreneurship is the ability to create and build a vision from practically nothing. Fundamentally, it actually is a human creative act. Entrepreneurship is the application of energy to initiating and building an enterprise or organization, rather than just watching or analyzing. And thus, this vision requires a willingness to take calculated risks, both personal and financial, and then do everything possible to reduce the chances of failure. So, for Timmons et al., entrepreneurship also includes the ability to build an entrepreneurial or venture team to complement one's own skills and talents. It is the knack for sensing an opportunity where others see chaos, contradiction, and confusion. Hisrick and Brush also see entrepreneurship as a process of creating something different with value by devoting the necessary time and effort, assuming the accompanying financial, psychological and social risks, and receiving the resulting rewards of monetary and personal satisfaction and independence. And then we have Hisrick and Peters, who have a number of elements within their definition of entrepreneurship. So concerning creation, we ask a number of questions. Is a new product or service offered? Is a new method of technology employed? Is a new market targeted or opened? Is a new source of raw materials and resources used? Is a new form of industrial organization created? If you answer yes to one of these, then the creation aspect of entrepreneurship is fulfilled. Next, they have economic organization. And this means an organization whose purpose is to allocate scarce resources. So the entrepreneur establishes a sole trader's position, a partnership, a company, etc. And then they have risk and uncertainty. They propose that risk is a variation of outcomes or returns. And uncertainty refers to the confidence entrepreneurs have in their estimates of how the world works, their understanding of the causes and effects in the environment. So, to be successful, the enterprise must be based on taking the initiative no matter what the situation. They need to organize and reorganize resources and situations so that they serve a particular purpose for the potential venture. But also, there is the need to accept the risk of failure. So moving on, is an inventor and entrepreneur the same? Well, there's differences between the two. An inventor creates something new, and that's it. whereby an entrepreneur is an individual who starts and runs a business with limited resources and planning and is responsible for all the risks and rewards his or her business venture actually engages in. The business idea usually encompasses a new product or service rather than an existing business model. So furthermore, entrepreneurial ventures target high returns with an equally high level of uncertainty. The entrepreneur is willing to accept his or her financial security and career, spending time as well as capital on an uncertain venture, arranging for the necessary capital, raw materials, manufacturing locations, and skilled employees. Marketing, sales, and distribution are also important aspects which are controlled by the entrepreneur. Now, even if some of these functions are outsourced, the risk is still carried by the entrepreneur. So this actually makes entrepreneurship further different from inheriting and or running an existing business. It differs from working for a startup or being a commissioned agent or selling already available goods or services as a franchisee or dealership. So there is actually a difference and a fine line between a small business owner and an entrepreneur. The roles actually have a lot in common, but there are some distinct differences that set them apart. So small businesses usually deal with known and established products and services, while entrepreneurial ventures focus on new, innovative offerings. Because of this, small business owners tend to deal with known risks and entrepreneurs face unknown risks. Limited growth with continued profitability is what is hoped for in most small businesses, whilst entrepreneurial ventures target rapid growth and high returns. As a result, entrepreneurial ventures generally impact economies and communities in a significant manner, which also results in a cascading effect on other sectors like job creation. Small businesses are more limited in this perspective and remain confined to their own domain and group. Thank you.